My parents were always so sweet, and they were always like, you're not, black or white. They would say I was gold. It was really sweet.
Hey guys, it's Kirby. Welcome back to Pretty Unfiltered. Today my guest is Amber Stevens-West from Fox's new comedy Ghosted. You probably also know her from The Carmichael Show and from Greek.
Oh my God,
Throwback. And today we are talking about her experiences growing up and working in the entertainment industry as a biracial actress. So welcome to the show, Amber.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you. I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here. I love Pop Sugar.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we love you
so,
too.
so happy.
You're an OG LA person. You grew up here. You were born and raised here.
Yeah.
And I have to say, every person that I've met from LA is chill, down to earth, humble.
All the people who are actually from here are the most chill, and we're not affected by all this Hollywood stuff.
Exactly. Let's talk about growing up, because you are biracial. Your mom is African American and your dad is Caucasian, right? Do you remember a moment growing up where you were like, oh, my family's a little different than other families?
It took a really long time. I was really lucky that I didn't notice skin color till I was a lot older. I guess I could see physically me and my best friend were different colors.
Totally.
And it wasn't really until I was probably 8 or 10 or something like that till I really realized that there was a difference and that there was a bias and that people had negative opinions of people like me, and I was pretty bummed about it. But my parents were always so sweet, and they were always like, you're not, black or white. They would say I was gold. It was really sweet. I always felt unique and special because my parents made me feel that way.
Totally, and I think it's all about how you're brought up.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you remember a moment though where there was an experience that your parent had to say, okay, listen, this is something you might have to deal with?
I don't know that it was really like that. I might have actually brought it up to them because other kids at school would be talking about it. I think before I knew about race, I knew about religion. Because when you're a little kid, you're like, oh, we're gonna celebrate Christmas. And then there were other kids who were like, well, I don't celebrate Christmas, I celebrate Hanukkah. And that's when kids start to repeat things that their parents are saying. And they're like, Santa's not real, or whatever they're saying, because we don't celebrate that, and your God's different than my God. And they don't even know what they're saying. And so that was my first realization that there was a difference between people. And then I think as I got older, it was more of a conversation with my parents. Like, okay, what was it like for you growing up? With my mom, grew up in Chicago in a primarily black neighborhood. She didn't really see race either, but her parents are from the South. And it was hard for my grandparents growing up as black people. So it was just more learning slowly through stories with my family about that kind of stuff.
Have you ever felt like you had to define your race to anybody? Whether it's work or personal?
Yeah, definitely. And it sucks, and it's so stupid. What was so special growing up is that because my parents didn't label me as something, I felt like I didn't need to own a label that was given to me.
Totally.
When I first started acting, I was 17, 18, I'm really unsure of myself. And at the time, there was a lot of typecasting. There was a lot of the black friend, and that was what I was going out for. And so I would go into an audition sometimes, and they would be like, could you be more urban? First of all, no, I can't, I'm from Beverly Hills. But secondly, I don't want to do that. And what does that mean? You want me to sound whatever you think that sounds like, and you want me to have more attitude and be louder or speak differently and have an accent or use improper English, or I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah.
And so I found it offensive, and so I just straight up was like, no, I'm not doing that. And it's if you're looking for that, then maybe you should hire someone else.
But that must have been hard for you, because I feel like we're in 2017 now. Things have changed for the better for the most part. We are still obviously seeing so many issues and racial divides and things like that. But at least now I feel like a lot of the TV shows that we watch, for instance, or movies that we're watching, African Americans are getting more of a platform to be different types of people, to be leads. Finally, right?
Finally.
But it must have been really frustrating for you, I can imagine, going through these auditions and being like, do I even want this part?
Oh, all the time. And I would struggle myself too. I'd be like, well, do I need to try and fit into those roles because I wanted to get jobs? And so I'd be like, do I need to braid my hair to be more black? Or do I need to be more white? I struggled with that, certainly. And now I'm just owning what I am. This is what I am. This is what you see. And I'm just gonna do roles that are just good people.
Yeah.
I just wanna play a cool person.
Before you started achieving your mainstream success, what do you think was the biggest obstacle you had to overcome in terms of your own insecurities? As even a woman, not even as a woman of color.
I mean, I deal with the same things every woman goes through. I'm not beautiful enough, my skin's not good, I'm too fat, I'm too tall. It's part of growing up. I think I'm 30 now, and I think by the time you hit 30, you're like, okay, I like me. Hopefully you're there.
I can totally attest to this.
Right?
I just turned 30
You finally
last December.
stop caring what everyone else thinks that you should be, and you're like, you know what? I'm pretty good, and I like me, and I don't need to try to be whatever you think beautiful is. It took a long time for me to get there, but now I'm just owning who I am, and I'm happy with it.
Do you think social media has helped or made things worse in terms of women feeling empowered about themselves?
I think it does both. I think you find what you're looking for. You know, if you're insecure, you're gonna find all more reasons to be insecure. You know, you're gonna look through all the pictures of all these women that you think are better than you or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you can really feed into that insecurity. Or you can find all these other people out there who are doing really inspiring things with their lives and who are owning the way that they look and feel and behave, and you can learn how to be a better version of yourself by following these other people. So it's really just like whatever you're looking for, you can find it.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so growing up biracial, going out with, your mom, I'm sure was fine, but what about your dad? Because he is Caucasian. Did you have any weird experiences?
All the time.
Really?
My dad and I would joke all the time about how no one knew that we were related. And my dad is a 6'2" blonde Norwegian man. I don't look anything like him. We joke that we have the same hands and feet, and that's it. That's all I inherited, and some of his personality.
Yeah.
But honestly, we don't look anything alike. So as a little kid, I don't think people really would ask questions. You might get looks like, is that his kid or what? But as I aged, as I became like a teenager, and I would, go with my dad to the movies or go with him to an event, people definitely thought that I was his date, and that's disgusting. I think a lot of women deal with this with their dads, but we really, really don't look alike, so people really don't believe that that's actually true. So we would make jokes that we should have t-shirts that it's like, I'm his daughter.
Yeah.
Not his date.
My dad,
this is my dad.
My little brother is 6 years younger than me, and technically he's my half brother, so we don't look a lot alike. And anytime I would go out with him, still to this day, people would be like, "Oh my God, your boyfriend is so cute," and I'm like, "I am going to vomit."
No.
Like, yes.
Don't assume, people. Don't assume. Ask questions before you say that.
I'm thankful that you think my brother is attractive. I'm sure you're like, "Wow, yes, I'm glad that you think my dad is like a handsome man," but not together. So you did star on The Carmichael Show, which touched on a number of topical racial issues in a really fresh way, which I think was necessary.
100%.
Because there was a void in television in that aspect. Yep. So what were you most proud of from that show?
I loved how honest the show was. We weren't trying to preach anything to anybody. It was just sharing all perspectives on a subject. And so you could hear all sides of an argument, and then by the end you could maybe change your mind about how you felt about something, or you would hear your own, opinion being spoken about on the show. So I was really proud that we could still find the funny there. We weren't trying to tell you we're making a joke about race and this is like, ha, because we were just being honest. And honesty is the best form of comedy. I think all the best comics are the ones who are just pointing out the obvious.
Exactly. So you are married to Andrew J. West.
Yeah.
He was your co-star on Greek.
Yeah.
You guys had a relationship on that show, love interests on that show.
Yes.
And I just have to shout out my producer, Joe, first of all, she is obsessed with you, so not to make this weird, but she loved that show.
People love that show, man.
It's a cult
It hasn't
classic.
been on TV for 8 years or something, and I get stopped all the time. But how
it's great.
It's just I watched that growing up, or it made me want to join the Greek system.
Nostalgia, man.
Yeah, it was a good
home.
show. It was really fun.
It was.
Yeah.
So on the show, you guys had a love story, but then you got married in real life. So you do have a real life interracial marriage similar to your parents. Now you're kind of dealing with that in a different way instead of it being a child.
Luckily, we live in Los Angeles. It's a really diverse city, so we don't get bad looks at all. If anything, black men will want to give my husband a high five for being with me, which I guess is great.
He's like,
I think
man.
He's like, yeah, my wife's, she's great.
He's like, yeah, I love her.
So I think he gets props, I guess, from other black people for being with me. Otherwise, it's all positive. Honestly, we do notice other interracial couples and we'll be like, look at a biracial couple. Yeah, they're just like us. It'll start to be more apparent that there's this interracial thing happening between us when we start a family one day. When we have to do what my parents did and explain to them how the world works.
As an actress, how has being biracial affected your roles at all?
Luckily, I have been fortunate enough to take roles where it's not even discussed, except for the Carmichael show.
Yeah.
But all other jobs, it's just, I'm just a person. And I think that's the best way to deal with race, in my opinion. Everyone has a very different opinion about this, but in my opinion, race shouldn't even be a factor. As we're just telling fictional stories on TV that aren't dealing with race. Why can't it just be a black woman is a doctor and she's just a doctor? Because we don't talk about like, oh, look, that white lady's a doctor.
Exactly.
But we're like, oh, black doctor. I'm done with that. All people are able to do all things.
What are you hoping that the industry will do moving forward to kind of help bridge the gap between male and female roles and add more diversity?
I think we're moving towards that really nicely. It could be a little faster.
Yeah.
If advertisers could just like get out of it and stop trying to market towards a specific group, I think if we just get back to just telling good stories and just about interesting people. I mean, a woman who's in her 20s has a very different story to tell than a woman in her 60s, but doesn't mean it's less interesting because she's older. So I think just knowing that there are a lot of stories to tell for all different ages of people and types of people, that we should just focus on that instead of trying to market towards like whoever our core audience is.
Amen. Amber, is there any advice that you want to offer your fans?
I think it's the same message everyone wants to tell you, and it's annoying to hear it over and over, but like you just have to learn to have self-worth and know your value. And once you find that, like that's where all happiness is. And then once you have that, like your whole life will blossom. Everything will come to you that's supposed to come to you.
Can I ask you when you realized what your self-worth was? Because mine happened recently. Mine was like in the past year when I turned 30.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know, I've had like little bits of it along the way. I don't know if I had any like one big moment. It certainly was the biggest change definitely happened in my late 20s, for sure. I don't need to appease others. I know that I'm smart enough and I know that what I'm asking for is of value.
And I think when I was in my early 20s, I was scared to speak up about anything for fear that I would lose the job or that I would make somebody upset or that somebody wouldn't agree with me or somebody would think I was stupid.
Know what you're contributing. And then if you know that, then other people will know that you know that. And then that's how you can like get a raise one day. And then also people won't take advantage of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which happens all too often.
It really does, because people, again, are scared to lose their jobs.
Okay, Amber, tell me all about Ghosted.
Ghosted. So Ghosted is so much fun. It's starring Adam Scott and Craig Robinson. It's like a buddy comedy. It's a little bit of like Beverly Hills Cop meets The X-Files meets Scooby-Doo. These two guys are kind of an odd couple, and they're brought to work at the Bureau Underground, which is like an underground government agency that explores all things outside the scientific realm. My character, Annie, is the weapons and tech specialist, so she's building all like the fun weapons and guns and technology that you need in order to like hunt down these things.
Yes.
And then she's like a hacker and stuff. She's really cool.
Amber, thank you so much for coming on and just being open and offering some amazing advice.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. Guys, let me know your favorite part of this interview in the comments section, and we'll see you next time. Bye.